Hello and welcome to St Anne's Catholic Primary School. This video will explain how we teach subtraction in school. We have 4 separate videos, one on addition, one for subtraction and another one for multiplication and one for division. So we start with the concrete pictorial abstract, which is based on the Singapore style maths we do here at St Anne's, Inspire Maths. This method of teaching subtraction will be from reception right up to year 6. So we can see here that the very first learning objective that children will do is physically taking away and removing objects from a hole. So they start with a hole, and as you can see here, the Numicon pieces it as 4. So it's 4 take away 3. The children have 4. They remove 3, so they have 1 left. Now the children will then be taught how to draw this. So they can draw objects, draw, as you can see here, bar model, and then they cross out 3, which leaves them with 1. Moving on to the abstract, 4 subtracts 3 equals, and we can also swap this around so that we can see that the equal sign is equivalent and that the answer doesn't always have to come at the end. And we can move it to the beginning. So what equals 4 minus 3? That always tricks the children when you do this with number sentences. Then we've got the bar model here. We've got 4 as the whole, 3, and what is left over, and also the part whole model here. 4 is the whole, we've got 3, and what's left. Then we move on to counting back. Now I have written here that teachers to use the counting back method, but to be careful when using number lines. Number lines are very abstract, so only for children here capable of using number lines. Now we would tend just to stick with the physically counting back. So we start with the number line here. The example is 6 take away 2. We start with 6 and we jump back 2. If we're counting back, we put 6 in our heads and we count back 2. 6, 5, 4. Children to represent what they see pictorially. So here we've got bar models, we've got 6, and we take away 2, which leaves 4, and then on to the very abstract number line here, 6, and we jump back 2. The next section in subtraction your children will be taught is finding the difference. So here you can see we're using cubes, Numicon or Cuisenaire rods, and any other objects can be used, anything at all. So here we have 8 and a 6, I think. So we have an 8 rod and a 6 rod. Now the aim is to help the children understand what finding the difference means. So the difference is what's different about the top rod than the bottom rod, and you can see that's 2. Now there's the example here with Numicon as well. We've got 8 and 6. What is the difference? It's 2, and then again with a Cuisenaire. Now onto the pictorial, they can draw the 2 rods themselves. So we've got 8 crosses here and 6 underneath, or they can draw the bar model and then they can find out for themselves what the difference is. Now the abstract way of working this out is the counting back, it's the subtraction. Now the children need to understand what finding the difference is first by actually seeing it in concrete materials before they can move on to this abstract way of thinking. 8 subtracts 3, the difference is, so they need to know that actually 8 take away 6 is 2. It says here the difference of each digit has changed by 1. Do the differences the same. This will help when solving larger problems as well. On to making 10. Now the manipulatives used here is Numicon or 10 frames. We have 14 subtract 5. So when we are teaching subtraction, we always start with the whole number. So 14 is made, then we take away 5 physically, or we can take away the 4 to make the 10 first, as shown here, and then we know we take away 1 more, which leaves 9. Children could also do this by subtracting a 5 from the 10, like it says, and then taking that 1 extra. Then onto the pictorial, children to present the 10 frame pictorially, so actually drawing it. And you can see physically crossing off 5. And then onto the abstract 14, subtract 5 equals 9. You also want the children to see related facts, so 15 subtract 9 equals 5. You could use the part-whole model here, and they need to be able to explain how they've done it. So here it says 14 subtract 5 equals 9. What they've done is partitioned the 10 into two 5s. So the 14 is made up of a 5 and a 5 and a 4. So it can take 1 5 to be left with 4 and 5, which is 9. Again, it can be done with the 1s. So partition the 5 into 4 and a 1. So when we take 14, subtract 4 to make 10, and then 1 more to get 9. And then, and only then, do we move on to the column method. Now again, this is generally started in year 1 and will continue into year 2. We start with using base 10, so we have 48, take away 7, we physically make 48, and then we physically take 7 away. Then onto the pictorial, 48, then we cross off 7 ones. And then the abstract, 48, take away 7, we take away the ones, 8 take away 7 is 1, 4 take away nothing is 4, which makes 41. Now we were moving on to regrouping, which is trickier, which is mainly year 2 this will take place in. So we have 45, we partition 45 into 4 10s and 5 1s. Now we need to take away 26, so we need to take away the 6 ones first. We can't do it because there isn't enough ones, so we regroup 1 10 for 10 ones. As you can see, it's done here in front on the policy. And then we've plenty of ones left now to take away the 6 ones. Now representing this pictorial age, you can see we've got 4 10s, 5 1s, we can't take 6 ones away, so we have to regroup. As you can see by the arrow, one of those 10s is regrouped into 10 1s, and then 6 1s is physically taken away. And then onto the abstract column method. Now it says it's crucial that the children understand that when they have regrouped the 10, they still have 45. So when we regroup the 10, we can take 6 ones away, so we have to regroup it into 15 ones, but 3 10s and 15 ones still make 45. And that is where children become unstuck if they don't understand that. So 15 ones take away 6 ones is 9 ones, and then we've got 3 10s left. We take away 2 10s, which is 1 10. Then we move on to, again, the column method. This is using place value counters this time instead of base 10. So it's the same method. Once they moved on to the pictorial, they can draw the place value counters just like the concrete, and then we're on to the abstract again. Now just take a note how this is recorded, and this is how it will be taught right up to year 6. Like the addition video, we've got some fluency variation and different ways to ask children to solve the problems. We've got word problems, part whole, bar model examples, we've got missing number examples, and on the very right hand column here at the bottom, it's a very, very tricky reasoning task that the children have to work out. It says 3 9 blank, take away blank blank 6 equals blank 0 5. That's a really tricky thing for the children to do, and it will show whether or not the children fully understand subtraction. Thank you for listening to the video on subtraction. I hope it's been informative, and if you've any questions, please don't hesitate to come into school and ask.